Wow, so I just got done watching Devil's Diner. This is a brand new limited horror series on Netflix, and I also saw somewhere that this is like the first big Vietnamese series to go like global. Didn't know that was a thing, but that's cool. Um, Definitely going to talk about spoilers in this review, so definitely come back. Um, before watching this entire video, or if you just want to kind of get the gist of what to expect, or if you don't really care about spoilers and none of that shit and you just want to kind of see what this is about and you still want to check it out for yourself, be my guest. But man, these 6 episodes were really interesting, and each episode is dealing with a theme and a plate of food. So the first episode is greed, uh, blood pudding, pride, goat tongue, sauteed, something like that, anger, snake wine, delusion, candy gooseberries, suspicion, heart porridge, which sounds absolutely fucking disgusting. Does not sound appealing at all. And then the final episode is karma, moon-faced snails. And man, I really like how this series just kicks off with greed, where you have this guy that has a money problem, but he's able to get this box where if he bleeds into the box, it gives him money. And where he got this box is from this diner, the Devil's Diner. The store, I would guess you would call him the caretaker slash bartender slash owner of the place. He gave him this box. And I also like in this first episode how they established the rules on the deals that these people make moving forward. So, his whole thing is he wants to he wants to be able to provide for his family, but he's greedy. You know, he's lying to his wife about why he is bleeding out or bloodletting. His wife's also is a very like kind of spiritual person, and once she kind of finds out what he has done, it's kind of too late, and we also learned that the owner is also trapped here too, and his whole part in this is to kind of deceive people, but also be very transparent. He always is going to give a person, the truth, but also there's some manipulation there as well into his tactics. There's these bulbs, these green bulbs that kind of light up. These are all souls, which is kind of creepy. So his whole thing is he has to fill these up and he could supposedly leave, but it's not as simple as that. But my favorite episode was Pride, where this is dealing with a mother and her son. So with this story, it kicks off with Tuan's mother as she's dealing with domestic abuse. Like her baby father that she was with at the time just couldn't stand hearing the kid cry, was even ready to throw him down the steps, but she was able to still protect her son, and which leads to the death of Tuan's father. And now we kind of fast forward into present day, and you kind of see Tuan's mother being a little overbearing, a little bit overprotective, and Tuan kind of gets annoyed by this, and this is where he comes across the diner, and he asks for a deal, or he takes the deal from the owner, and he makes him eat this tongue. And now this is why this is my favorite episode, because they do a lot in this to kind of show different perspectives. So he has to eat this tongue, and now with him having this fiance and coming up in the world with his job, and his mother kind of getting in the way. Well, he thinks his mother is getting in the way of all these things. Um, Once he starts to like eat this tongue, every piece that he eats, he starts to kind of see the truth. And before you know it, it's too late. His mother lost her tongue, and once he tries to confront her about all of this is where things get really dope. Where I'll talk about perspectives is she's sitting there freaked out. Her mouth is just filled with blood. He's freaking out, trying to get her help. She sees him as like his father. They said some really cruel things to one another in this episode, and he just sees her bleeding out while she sees him as his father, just being abusive, being this monster, which leads her to push him over this balcony. And that was just a fantastic episode. Then we get to Anger, where that's dealing with a father trying to figure out what happened to his son, and it also kind of deals with his son's sexuality that plays a part in it. He gets a hold of this camera that if he takes a picture of it, that it kind of works as like a voodoo doll. So if somebody took a picture of you, like they can bend it, manipulate it, stab it with things. It operates like that. That was a really fucking sad episode too. Each episode is just sad. There's really no happy moments that I can really think of outside of probably Suspicion, but we'll get to that. Delusion was another favorite one of mine, where it dealt with this son that blames himself for his mother's death and tries to see what he could do to prevent that. And it operates kind of like a Groundhog's Day type of scenario, where he's reliving his mother's death over and over and over again. Then we get to Suspicion, where this is dealing with a couple that is dealing with love and suspected jealousy, because it gets to a point where they think that one person is cheating on the other, but not knowing that this is a thing that has continuously happened, where he forgets about old girl, they forget about each other, and they meet up again, and it's like this ongoing cycle. I really liked Suspicion. I feel like this will probably be some people's least favorite, but I liked it, you know what I'm saying? Karma, how they wrapped everything up was perfect, giving us the backstory of the store owner / bartender and how he got into that position, and how the previous owner kind of tricked him into his spot, and all the rules and the door that's there, how his father was like a craftsman. He made this door, and he had a debt to settle with the previous owner. I'm not gonna go into the crazy details, but man, that shit was fucking crazy and really fucked up, which it put him in a situation. The deal that the previous owner gave him is he had to choose between his father or his newborn son, and reincarnation plays a part in it. But you also you get to kind of see how deceptive that role you have to be in that role. And I like that they bring back Twan's mother at the end, where she thinks she's going to get a one-up on the owner. Come to find out, no, she didn't. She didn't get a one-up on him, and she ends up being the new owner. But like, just the different stories that come about in each episode are very tragic, dark. There's a lot of gems, a lot of life lessons that you can learn from this series. A lot of interesting takeaways. It's not like violence or grotesque for just the sake of being gross or overly gory or nothing like that. I don't think there was anything that was super gory, but like, that's what I really love about horror, man, where they'll give you these scenarios, and just it's very relatable, whether you are somebody trying to look for justice for their kid that just died, or a mother trying to protect her son, even that means killing somebody. Karma, dealing with different type of situations or making these choices have consequences. Delusion was really interesting as well, like dealing with the psychological aspects, or just, you know, really well put together show overall. I got nothing but positive things to say about it. Definitely go check this out if you haven't. If you do get around to checking this out, let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments below. But yeah, this one was definitely a banger. Till next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.